Stream Deck should be plugged in. Should be the phone. No. Who else is live tonight? What's up? See if we can get some folks in here having to pivot. We did not get our 1070 Ti in tonight. I was really hoping that would show up. Let's see who we all get in here. So tonight we're going to again we're just gonna pivot what we can. I was kind of soliciting out on Twitter on what folks wanted to see. We were gonna do a kind of question and answer with regards to like mining rig fixing and stuff like that, but we'll do that in a different episode. I'll have the camera switched over to where I can bring the whiteboard in, and then I'll run it through like the best way I can say it is kind of like a Scrum developer session. So essentially we're going to go through a backlog grooming review with you guys and go through all the different things that you can do with your mining rig when it comes to like trying to troubleshoot the different particular issues when you're doing your setting up and configuration. We'll go through the whole gamut. We'll do troubleshooting, long-term maintenance, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to have it categoried out. We'll do it all on the whiteboard. I'll kind of set up the categories and we'll walk people through that. We're going to do that in a different episode. If we can get to it this week, we will. But that takes a little more planning than just kind of ad hoc, like, oh no, we're not getting our graphics card, let's do that. So we're just pivoting tonight, and we have not done anything really with the XMR and the RX Vega. I've been kind of leading you guys on with an episode that we would get to that. There just hasn't been time. There's been a lot of things going on with just rigs and things that we're doing. So we thought, why not just go ahead and try to tackle that tonight. I do have the machine here with two RX Vega 64s. If we do run into time tonight, we will pull over. I do have an RX Vega 56. We can pull that over into the mix too if we can get enough time to do it. Essentially, it's in one of our gaming machines. We don't have a full rig of RX 64 Vegas. They were just too expensive right now from what we're mining. But it's not to discount that they're not really, they're good cards. And they have good potential. It's just right now the price point doesn't make any sense. I'd rather get 1070s, you know, for the stuff that we're doing. You know, with XMR and other Cryptonight coins, they are kind of like the top dog on that from what we've researched. But again, we don't normally mine XMR or I think it's Electronium. We did put it in the multi-miner, but we are doing some research on it and looking at it. XMR has been doing real well lately, price-wise, and it may make sense to have some, you know, maybe eventually set up like a 6-card, 8-card RX Vega 64 R56 rig. The little bit that I've done some research on it, though, it looks like I have yet to see, and maybe somebody, you guys can't post links, but we need to do some deeper dives. I haven't seen any like 13-card rig configurations with them. Or anybody else that's done like a 13-card configuration with them. Actually, I haven't seen anything really past 6 or 8 actually. So I don't know if there's a technical limitation on that yet. We'll have to do some research on that. Between the BBT crew, like all the folks that are part of our little circle that work on rigs and have farms and all that, between everybody there's enough RX Vegas to do probably a larger rig build, because everybody kind of bought them. And obviously if we see some deals with Christmas and stuff coming up, we might buy a couple too, and then have enough for a big rig build for you guys. If you guys are interested in that, drop comments on this video tonight of saying, yeah, we want to see 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, whatever RX Vegas, and we'll see if we can drum up enough from everybody. But again, we've been really focusing on like the RX 470s, the 1070s, 1060s. That's really what the main, if you're doing it mining at any kind of scale, those are the cards you got to stick with. Just from a pricing standpoint, especially when you have not as much profitability right now. This is kind of the lower tier of the profitability tiering that's happens in crypto. So you got to be just fiscal if you're putting new rigs together. So if you're just finding this video and you're trying to figure out which cards to go with and all that kind of stuff, I would look at if there's used opportunities out there, and I would, you know, I've had a lot of people asking me a lot of questions with that, you know, what cards to get and stuff. I'd say the RX 470s. If you can find good deals on RX Vega 56s, they're probably going to be the best bang for the buck if you can get them into the low 400s, maybe high 300s. But right now I'd stick RX 470s, RX 570s, and then if you can make sure if you're buying a 1060 that it's the right kind of memory. You want to usually stick to Samsung if you can with that. And then the 1070s, if you can find those for good deals, those are the good cards too. So that's just kind of like a PSA. I've been getting a lot of emails on what to buy. It's like people had like a surge in May through June and July, and it kind of settled down in August and September as it was the heat of the summer, especially in the North American area. But now as it's kind of cooled off and you're starting to see some money flow back into the crypto on the other coin, you know, the altcoins and stuff, people are starting to do some searching, internet searching and stuff like that. So I just wanted to do a PSA in the first part of this video on that regarding the tech and what they'll kind of look for the new folks. So what we're going to do is I have this set up. It's 2 RX Vegas. This isn't a gaming machine, so it's not like the ideal setup if you were trying to build a rig with them. This has got a i7 in it, and the thing's got like 16 gigs RAM. It's water cooled. And again, it's a gaming rig. So we were playing with both of those in Crossfire just to see what they would do in that. And just a quick one on that, it's not real stable. I'm kind of like, it's a love-hate relationship right now with RX Vega. If you bought them to play video games with, and maybe if there's any gamers in the channel here in the chat that have experience with it, it is not stable for us at all. So I mean, that's a fresh build Windows, everything updated, latest drivers, playing Destiny 2, playing anything like that, it's just a crash. I had to turn off Crossfire, it works fine, but it's not, I don't know, I think they still got some work to do on some drivers. But from a mining standpoint, the limited exposure that we've used these things for, they've been pretty solid as long as you dial them in, and we're going to do that tonight here. And we're going to see if we can get through some XMR. We'll pull up the multi-miner, and then we'll do some deeper configuration on it. Again, I haven't done a ton of research on the Cryptonight algorithm, and I know there's some real customizations to dial down the power. We will bring up that. I think there's a Reddit post on that. Maybe we'll go through that and try to see what we can get out of these for folks. So I got the chat up in front of me too, and we can maybe get to that as you guys ask questions and stuff. But let's go in. That's about 8 minutes. And switch over to this. So you guys should see this screen. So again, this is here's the kind of setup that we got here. I try to put most of this stuff down in the description. Since we had a pivot, we were going to do the ZOTAC 1070 Ti tonight. I just kind of threw the description together. I'll clean that up after the episode. But here's what we're working with. 2 RX Vegas. I will show you the boxes. One is a Sapphire RX Vega. They're both the kind of, I guess I'd call them, they don't call them the Founders Editions, but they're equivalent to the Founders Edition style coolers. These are not like the special aluminum cased ones or the plastic cased ones. This machine's got 16 gigs of DDR3. Again, this is an 1150 chipset motherboard. This is an older processor. It's got the i7-4790K. Again, you do not need that in mining in any capacity, but it is a gaming machine. So if you're taking this from a context that you're a gamer and you want to see what your RX Vegas will do, this will be a good video for you tonight. So standard build, this is a MSI Gaming 5 Z97 motherboard. So then that sets the tone of what hardware we're working with. We're going to be using BBT Multiminer 562. There is some post out there. I do need to update the website, but if you do go to Steam it, you'll see where to get this at, and we'll put it as part of the description below here tonight. Just out of the box, we're going to take some out of the box numbers before I benchmark, before we start making changes to things. So we're just going to get some baseline numbers. The machine right now is idling. Let's do this. Machine, I don't know if can they see that. They should be able to see that. So it looks like it's idling about 58 watts, 59 watts, just setting here. Bring this up, make sure nothing else is running in the background. It peaks up to about 60 when Task Manager's up. Okay, so about 58 is our baseline. So, and the new multi-miner, I'm going to try to get it over. You know what? Let me do one thing because they probably can't see this. Display settings. Let's go to 150. Is that better? That should be a lot better. Oh yeah, let me go back. There we go. Just switch that back. That should give you guys a good setting here of what we got going on here. Again, we're using Windows 10 Professional, and this has the patch version of. These things are relevant. We got to let you guys know this because a lot of people have a lot of questions. They don't understand that they need to have certain patch levels and stuff like that. So if we look at Windows 10 update history, we are on this version. If you have this version, so whatever results we get tonight, you got to make sure which version of Windows you're on. We're on Windows version 1709. That is the latest Fall Creator update. So let's go into the BBT multi-miner. This can be received from, actually I had made a Bitcoin talk post, but if you look at Steam it and just bits, Be Trippin. I believe if you search that, you should bring up our Steam it right here, and then if you click this one right here, the hotfix 562 is the one that we're using, and then right there's the download for this. So I just wanted to give you guys an idea of where you can go to download that. This will be, I'll post this on our website. The version 561 is out there on our website. I need to post this version. I just posted this yesterday. This just has a fix for Pearl and Bitcoin Gold we put in there, and I made some corrections on a lot of things. So that's the version of the multi-miner that we're using. And then once you download that and unzip it, it'll bring you to this, and then you can go into the multi-miner. And we're, again, so now that that's set, we're going to set up, let's do some benchmarks. So tonight's really focused around Cryptonight. If you guys do want to see other settings and stuff that this card can do, we will get to that. But right now we're going to be looking at Cryptonite based coins. So that's like Monero, which on multi-miner is the 10.2 version, I believe is the one that I want to use. Let's do 17. So that's going to come up. And the reason why this is showing, these cards do not have 16 gigs of RAM. I think that has to do with the an allocation of local memory that's being assigned to the cards. I believe, I have to research that to make sure, but there is a pass-through, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about in the AMD driver that allows you to set your memory. So base out of the box here, we're getting almost 1,100 hashes a card. That's 2,200 hash on Cryptonite, on the Cryptonite XMR. So this is the version 10.2 Claymore. Woo, listen to those things spin up. We do run about a 10 second, 5 second delay, something like that.
It's more like 25, 30 seconds.
Is it running 30 seconds?
It usually does.
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, it looks like it's just leveling out there. Man, these things warm up though, 70 Celsius. So I don't mind XMR. I don't know if I think that's good. I think that's okay. I think it could be a lot better. I believe these cards get to about 1800 if you config them right though. So that's the baseline there. You know what? I want to get my marker and my pen because I want to keep track of where we're at on this performance wise. Yeah. That'd be spectacular. This BBT hooking me up. These things are warm. Felt some heat over there. Okay. So just out of the box, XMR. And I want to verify something because that seemed kind of high. Vega 64, 1100 a card. And I didn't see very much variation between the two cards out of the box. Yeah, just for you guys, if you guys care, I'll show you which cards we're talking about here. So we're talking this. This is an XFX RX Vega 64, so it's the XFX, and then I think I got the other one down here. Get my drone out of the way. And then the Sapphire one looks like this. So if you're in the store and you're trying to identify these, that's the Sapphire one. So those are the two that are in here tonight. And we'll go back. Oh, you know, we didn't even check up. You guys saw that. Let me go back to that. Let's do a power check there. 17. And I'll get a bigger screen on that power. I don't know if they can they see that in the mini view? The power up there in the right?
Yeah, it's very clear.
It's very clear, okay. And on that screen, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna take another. I didn't capture it for myself, so I'm gonna let it spin back up real quick, and I'm gonna take a shot of it. So 11. I keep just hitting S to get the status. So out of the box, it looks like one is a 1072, one's 1117. So they are a little different. I mean, one's the XFX, one's the Sapphire. I don't know right off the bat which one's which, but I'm going to take a bet that the Sapphire's a little faster because that just seems to be the thing, the Sapphire. And power-wise, we are at 580. Is that 580? So we're about 250 a card. 590 watts. I think I have hardware 64 on here. Use 64 info. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to that Reddit post and we're going to start configuring this thing and see what we can get this thing to. We want the portable. So I'm downloading this because I want to see what the actual sensors. I want to see actually what the hardware is doing. This will do a scan. Wait for the program. That's okay. That will do that if you click that when it's trying to process. So we're gonna let it do that and do its scan. Man, these things really heat up though, man. Let's look at. Well, I don't want to ping another sensor real quick. So I'm just bringing this up real quick because I'm going to take a note of the clock speeds, both on the GPU and the memory, to see where we're at. So we scroll down here. Here's GPU 0 and 1. Here's GPU 1. So we're at GPU core clock. This is just a little more accurate. I like this tool better because it's right on the money on the megahertz down to the 10th level. So it's 1571. We are going to be able to take a lot of megahertz out of that on the core. And we're at, wow, that thing's going up to 1100 on the, or no, it's 945 on the,
You're in the,
oh, shit. Yeah.
you're like, cool story, bro.
Cool story, bro. Switch the screen. We'll let that switch. Mem. So the two things I'm looking at right here are the core and the mem. Pretty much out of the box. Stock. Settings. GPU. Chip power is right at about 200 watts. And that should be the same for this one here. Yeah, it's running essentially the same, 45, running 200. And it hit 82, so it's starting to spin that first GPU down some. It's only getting 900 now. It dropped almost 100 hashes. So all right, we're gonna kill that now. Now we got a baseline. We got the stock numbers. I'm going to minimize that for right now. Close that. And let's do a XMR Vega 64 Reddits.
They're saying XMR-STAK is much better when testing Cryptonight instead of Claymore.
Oh, XMR-STAK is? I have, again, this is where you guys get to inform me on mining, because we don't do a lot of XMR stuff. So I would be doing the same research you guys are and doing a lot of testing if we were really going down this road. So it's more of, we got the hardware and we're willing to test it with you guys live. So it's significantly better. It looks like it's not doing too bad. Oh, you know, we're probably not even using the compute driver either on this. Let's see here. This driver here. DDU. This version.
So good XMR-STAK is call out.
Download here. Let's call out. Yeah, we'll check it in a second. I'm gonna make sure we're on the right driver first, because it did mention the blockchain driver, and we're running just standard drivers. I want to run the latest drivers, and then we'll switch them to compute. I must already have that DDU. That's fine. Clean restart. So we're just pulling this off. We're gonna make sure we have the latest driver. The driver that's on here is like from mid-October, and it wasn't the blockchain driver. So you got to see what that thing did with just out of the box with no blockchain driver. What's the estimation for Vega 56? Well, based on that article there, I mean, we haven't tested it, but based on that article there, if you can get those down to 105 watts, you're talking 35 watts per essentially riser plus 105, so you're looking at 800, probably full system. 800, 900 watts full system, if you can get it to those settings. Ooh, look at that pretty green screen. Oh my God, that's appalling. Getting withdrawals. What's up with mining solutions? You stop mining?
Power's out.
Oh, his power's out. Watching on the phone. It's been a pretty interesting, exciting week in crypto. Yeah, Iron One, that's the one we're going to use here tonight. We'll just go through that. Yeah, unplanned power outage, man. That's the kind of stuff, like if you guys watch one of our older videos that we did, people ask about what's the profitability, you know, and you do your math on your return on investment, and a lot of people just look at it at a full clip of if you were running 100%. You need to do all of your calculations with an over-under of a 60 to a 90% uptime. 60 being your worst case scenario. You should be running 60% of the time. At least. I mean, if you're only running 60%, that's doing bad, but you're still, I mean, so take it, and some people just cut those numbers on the calculator in half, and then you got to recheck your calculator about every 2 weeks because difficulty and everything changes. But that's if you're looking at it at a daily standpoint. You guys don't need to watch that while that's going through. While we're just installing the driver, and then I'm going to go back to that Reddit post, and then we'll get everything else set up. Thanks for the love, brother. $5 super chat. You need to look at when you're looking at your profitability standpoint. I have no idea what it's doing. Okay. I guess it doesn't like being set down on its side. It's the fans on the water cooler were spun up, and it's, I guess I tightened them down a little too much, and they're rattling on the top of that case. No, anyways, back to the mining profitability. So if you're looking in the short-term gain because you need to get the money back out of your rig to make it whole, to make your wife happy, if you're spending a lot of money and you're trying to mine and you're like, oh my God, I got to get my money back out of this, then yeah, you need to pay attention to it, catalog it like it's anything else. It's a big investment. And, you know, pay attention to the coins that can make you money. Some people just use NiceHash and just get Bitcoin. But, you know, keep on it, keep watching it, keep making sure it's the best coins for you to mine to get your money back if that's what your goal is on it. Some other people take a different approach on that. We're going to do a restart here. And look at it as more of a long term, like kind of like a stock or a time value money equation, to where you're looking at, like, if you're mining a particular coin, like if you were mining Ethereum for 9-10 months at $3 to $10 to $12, and you were hoping for $20, you know, you're taking a longer hedge on it, and you're just banking, you're saving everything. You're paying your power, you're paying your mining depreciation of your rig. You have all that sunk cost in there, and that's just essentially your total debt into the whole situation. You calculate that. Look how much time that is. and then how much money you spent on it, and then you can figure out your exit point, you know, to at least get your investment back if the crypto lifts heavily. You know, take a portion of that back out, pay off your original debt on there, keep that calculation. You know, it's just like a ledger. Keep a track on it, and figure out where you're at. And you know, like right now, it's a low profitability thing. So if you buy a mining rig right now, it's going to look like it's going to take 8, 10, 12 months. But anything can happen in this space, and a lot of investments getting put into it, and people are going to pay a lot of hedging on it. So it's, you know, diversify and just keep mining. Let's see, this thing's back up. All right, so we're going to go back to that Reddit post. So I just wanted to make sure we're on a driver that was current. Again, this was not really set up episode. I mean, we were going to do something completely different, and we kind of just pivoted to this, making sure it doesn't have anything stupid like Crossfire is on. We're going to turn that off. That's what I wanted to check. All right. Let's go back to that. XMR post. Now, if we get this configured right and it looks pretty decent like it's running, I'll put this XMR stack in the Multi-Miner in the next release. And I'm going to give shout outs to this dude on this Hella putting this together. It's a pretty good guy. This is why I love the crypto space, man. I mean, it isn't about like if we do it or somebody else on YouTube does it. You know, I Mine Blocks, his YouTube channel. I mean, there's people, everybody takes care of each other out here, man. Just share the wealth, share the knowledge. We're still in a niche. So I'm just reading through his thing real quick. Let's see here. So you'll need this. Open that up in a new window. Should have did a tab. We got equivalent to that. 60 gig. See, this is the part right here that I want to do some testing if we can get, and it makes me want to make a note about getting some more. I'm going to put it on my whiteboard because that's where I keep track of all my backlog things. That if I grab a couple more RX Vegas, RX Vega 64 plus 4. If we get the team to pull together all their Vegas and we can get a 6-card rig, if this is a real requirement where it needs to have a high amount of system memory, virtual memory set, and he's using 60 gigabytes on 3 cards, we need a, I need to do some research on that because I don't know. I don't think that would be a requirement, but because I don't see a page file. You need about 20 gig when you're running a bigger rig than that, but the page file doesn't get that big. The page file usually gets to like 13 gig when you assign it 20. I mean, what's being allocated rather. I mean, you can put out a max of 20 to 30 gig, but that I'm questioning. We'll do some research on that. Page file 60 GB. Because if that's said, and what he's doing, he's trying to allocate 20 per card. If you have 60, or if you have 6 cards, I mean, you're talking 180 gig. I mean, most people don't have that big of a solid state on these mining rigs, right? You're buying 120 gig solid state. So, well, I'll look and see if that scales. If that needs to scale. It should need to. Most likely only device starter. Okay, Vega's new HVM is currently very unstable. That's great. Yeah, that sounds like a great thing. Why do you guys want to mine this? To avoid plug-in a monitor. Nope. Dongle connected. What is? Yeah. Okay. We shouldn't have any of these issues where it's, well, he's doing it on a mining rig. So we'd have a monitor plugged in on this scenario. Team viewers finally 4 is not enough to activate. Okay. So the 4 gigs of RAM not enough to activate the HBBC. So that's this guy right here. So if you go into here under gaming, if you right click and go to your Radeon settings, you'll come here under global graphics. Under here is the HBCC memory segment. And then this is what they're saying is that you want to allocate it up. So that's where I go to 16 gigs. So that's done. And then target objective, oh, that's on a 56. On a 64. This is a 56 that's been flashed to a 64. I don't know why he's doing all this. Unless this is because of the 56 that's been flashed to a 64. I'm going to look and see what that key is. So we already did the DDU. We installed the AMD drivers. We did this part. I'm going to download the miner in a minute too, so don't worry about that.
People are having problems with the Chromium. They said the miner's not paying out. They've been on it for 60 minutes and haven't got a payout.
On
the multi-miner?
Well, the miner, the multi-miner just mines to a pool. Have they went to the pool to see what they've mined? So, a quick sidebar. If you guys are using the multi-miner and you've changed your Notepad++, hold on, 30 seconds. Notepad. This is a 30-second detour. And it's relevant for all things, including this XMR thing, because you're going to want to have your address, update it, and all that. Alright, so that lets you edit this, pull this into here. So under your ETN address, you need to make sure that that's been updated. So you're mining the right stuff. And then the pool for that is this, and you can always change this pool if you don't want to use this pool, but this is the pool the multi-miner set up to right now, which is that E2 electromine.fr. If we go there, and if you paste in your address, so you guys see the address I have in here because that's my address. If you right click and copy that, and if you updated your address, you'd paste it here, and you'd look up. So right here, I mined it for a little bit on a couple machines, and I've had I still have a pending balance of 3. I've been paid a total of 390. So you need to put your address in this E2 electromine.fr. You put it here and look it up. So if you've been, and that's the last share that I've had submitted was 11 hours ago. So I don't think anybody's been mining against my address because that's the address that comes with it. Comes with the multi-miner. At least for 11 hours nobody has. I think that was me turning it off. So you need to look in there and then see where you're at. This payment threshold, I don't know what their payment threshold is on this. But I want to say it's maybe 10. Maybe they have that on here. Their particular thing. I don't know what their payment threshold is. I put probably 9 kilohash worth of mining against it, and it was paying out like every, oh, it should show here, payments. Well, I think that's the total payment. What's the amounts? Oh, nice. Nice block explorer, Electrium. Let's see here. It doesn't say. So I mean, this is the whole block. So I don't know what their frequency is, but I would just say look and see. Oh, here it is. I'm totally missing it. Minimum payment threshold 20. So when you get 20 ETN, you should be able to get paid out. So look at your pool stats, see what the pending balance is. When you hit 20, it's going to pay you. Which that doesn't make any sense. They must have changed that because I don't know how I already got 390. But anyways, because it's not divisible by 20. But it was probably by 10, and then they bumped it to 20. So that's a little sidebar. All right, back. Hopefully I answered the question. Guide for undervolting. I know how to undervolt. What's he teaching me that I don't know? Let's see here. Oh, he's going into OverdriveTool. So they're doing an OverdriveTool. That's an older version he's using there.
Shane says yes, that helped a lot.
Alright, good. No, this is 2017, so this is a newer version. Ah. 7-zip. All these things are all about multiple tools. Oh, not 32-bit. They're 64-bit. Install. Well, at least you guys are getting to see the cradle to grave on this. It's a little jumpy. You gotta jump around. Might need some timestamps in this video. Okay. Control J. I just did this 7-zip. Oh, is that not the 7-zip extract to here? Go. All right, there we go. So we got that tool up too. So I kind of did that fast, but you guys should be able to go pretty quick. I just Googled that particular tool, which is the OverdriveN tool. It brought me to here. You download it. You need to make sure you have 7-zip, which is I'm using 64-bit. And then once you go to your downloads, if you use Control J, you can show shoulder and folder, and you can right click and extract that out using this, and then to the local thing. So that gets you all those steps. So we got this up. So what's he doing here? He's doing, we're gonna kind of skip through this video. This is probably the way you guys skip through my videos. So I just need the settings. So what's he setting to? 14 to 12. So he's going 1150, 1202, 1212, 1222. Memory is stepping to 1100. And he's just applying that. Okay, okay, cool. Now what is this for? Air-cooled card. I'm just watching his I don't know why he's doing that. Why is he opening up? So is that because he's trying to adjust the power voltage control? Yes, he is. So this will take, so we're going to be able to get, okay, we're going to do this in stages. So that part there with the registry is unlocking a little more lower voltage control, probably applying the voltage control of the 56 to the 64, and then changing from a hex level. Yep. All right. Yeah, that's kind of okay. So yeah, cool story, bro. That's really yeah. We'll see what this does. I mean, so we're gonna go 1100. We'll follow him there through some of this. I have no doubt that it's working for him. The problem I have is I'm scared that if we go down that road, is that it's so, voltage is so predicated on the silicon that you got, because the settings that he's getting on the cards with the voltage that he's sending to the cards, the results may be different. So it's more of a behavior on how to tune something, and you tune each card differently. You can replace the injectors, you can replace the main things on a card, but each card's going to act a little different with the power. So the same way with the graphics card in this scenario. So we're just using this tool right now to change how the card steps up as it runs through these power levels. It's going to run through this. This is the same kind of thing that you would do whenever you're doing the modifications in a BIOS change on an RX like 570, 470. When you're actually doing the actual mod, you would be changing these settings potentially, and the memory straps. The only thing this thing is not letting us touch is the memory straps on it, which is fine because you can't do that right now on RX Vega. To my knowledge, you can't do that. So we're going to do that for GPU 1, or GPU 0. Now we're going to do it for GPU 1. We're going to use his same settings here, 50, or 1150. Uh, 1202. 1212. Again, I have no doubt that whatever he did there is probably working really well with his cards and have saved him a ton of power usage, or relatively speaking, a ton of power. It's probably got him down incrementally by 20, 30, maybe 50 watts max on all three of those cards, which is good. I mean, that's a good effort, awesome job. He's kind of showing you the tools to be able to tweak it, but it's kind of like the next level of tweaking your rig out. And it's still super predicated on Windows. So people that are going to be building 6 or 8 card rigs of these, and if you're going to not use Windows, then all that stuff that you're seeing right now is kind of non-applicable. So, okay, we got all those settings set up there. I'm assuming that's real time. Let's go back here. Download these, do not run it right away. We're going to run it without the voltage stuff first, and then I'll apply voltage stuff. I'm just reading through his stuff here. Alright, so a lot of that stuff is all voltage related. Well, let's get the miner downloaded. Stack with no TLS. Let's do this one. What? Dangerous file? Well, he's got... Let's give him the benefit, and then if he gives me a virus, then we'll deal with it. Probably gonna have to go in here. Oh, virus protection's off. We're gonna go into here. He had custom configs already set up. Wasn't on this one. I was on this back down. 64 config. Paste that. Already got that in there. Cool. We're gonna grab the multi-miner. Details out of here for my pool information. XMR, Monero. Nano pool. Wallet address. And pool password, I think is just X. On our multi-miner. I'm just still in the configs out of my multi-miner. I mean, if I could figure this, I can set this up in the multi-miner. If you guys want this miner in there included, I think I actually have this miner included. I just haven't included the syntax. I have to do some custom stuff when you have a separate text file like this. I have to either go in his source and edit it, and then recompile it to where it's not having this to go to. Let's see here. U wallet X password. Yes, just X. So the binary that's created looks for this text file. So when you run this, got too many windows open. When you run this guy here, it's looking for this. So in his source code, like I'll have to like either fork it and change this to not look for this anymore and allow the variables that are in here to somehow be passed in my multi-miner. I don't know. We'll have to figure it. I mean, like, it's not that complex to do to where I can take this information and I can embed it in the multi-miner and then I can recompile this, but I'll have to fork it because that won't necessarily accept those changes. I don't know. We'll look into it. If this is the miner that everybody wants and it makes a lot more sense to use, then we can look at about putting this kind of content in the multi-miner and then just forking the coin, or forking the miner. Let's see here. Minimize that. Let's save this config. It's this config. Nope. It's this config. Jesus, how many times did I open that up? Save. Okay. Platform 0. It's not getting past. This stuff shouldn't matter because that's all voltage. Make sure you have no, so unless this miner is looking for specific local machine, I'll tell you what, let's do it this way. Search, copy this. Oh God, I can get there faster. Windows, system, current control sets, controls, class, 4D, BT35, 318. So we got lots of 318s. Which one is it looking for? 11CE, BF1. 68. Not using it, or you have only one folder if you're using it. And this is just the internal graphics card. I don't understand why any of this is relevant. I'm gonna have to do some more research on why he thinks that matters. Because that does not, unless something with that miner is not able to identify the differences of the GPUs, and that's what we're doing, is trying to remove any reference for the miner not to trip over the GPU, the internal GPU. And it's kind of a botched way to go about changing it. What's the error we're getting here?
It's set up for 6 cards. You can change it to 2 inside. You can play the sire. I think the sire is 3.
Huh?
It's set to 6 cards instead of 2.
I don't know why he would have had 6 cards in there. Because he was only talking about 3. That's GPU threads. Oh, because it's 2 per GPU. That'd be 4. Check. Good eye.
That's Captain Morgan.
Captain Morgan bringing in the good eye. I didn't even notice that. When I copied his settings, he only had 2 cards, or he had 3 cards. We need to kill 2 of those threads.
Maybe Dan Jones too.
Huh?
Maybe Dan Jones also.
Oh. Hold on. Hardware 64. I think I understand what's going on here. Man, XMR. You know, this kind of stuff makes me want to just compile my own shit that doesn't have all this kind of crap in it. Or I just rewrite the damn miner to just do what I need it to do. But because it doesn't understand which GPUs are where, we're having to manipulate the calls to identify which GPU is going to have what thread. It's a pain in the ass. Let's see here.
Page file 8 GB per Vega.
Huh?
8 GB per Vega.
Yeah, there's plenty of memory. There's plenty of, this thing's got, it's already got the settings for, it's got 40 gigs page file fixed. The page file's fine. 16 gigs on the machine. HPCC's set to 16 gigs, more than enough. Yeah, I was just checking to see if the onboard graphics card
They said 2 threads.
was interfering as GPU 0, but we are good. They're saying only try to do 2 threads there? Well, what fun is that? Yeah, if there's a type mismatch there, it's gonna freak unless we take off 2 of these work packages here. And we're probably still going to get that same other error. But I think something else is going on here. So it's not this get device, CL device ID. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to look real quick on this. Where is this? Source. Oh, I don't have Visual Studio in here. Son of a. I need to open up one of these CCs. I want to see what it's calling. Maybe. Yeah, somebody's having the same issue. Right here. But so this right here is probably from what he's trying to have us do here. Where's that other screen here?
You said you have to launch it before editing file first so it will make a device ID.
Okay, it's got a protection there.
Did you hear me?
So if we're going to do this here, drag it out here, we're going to extract it. No, same thing. Fresh build, nothing. That's out of the box. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't. I think it has something to probably do with that thing that he was wanting us to do a fix in the registry for when it was looking for the folders, because it's having it's stopping on something because it's trying to look for the it's calling. So the reason why I wanted to look at the code is I wanted to look at the stepping of the first call that it's making is to query the amount of GPUs that are there. What kind of GPUs are they? What are their device IDs for it can assign the thread to them? And it's stopping on that first call to scan the types of GPUs that we're using. And it's immediately just filling out because it's an AMD CL call looking for those GPUs and it's not seeing them. So yeah, we're an hour into this and I haven't even done it, so I need to see if that's the reason. I mean, somebody else is reporting it, that issue. CL build, that's the build, that's the call there. Device not found. There's somebody else that had that issue. And then did a dump log. Have to use platform 2 to resolve it. Platform 2. Platform index. Okay. Check. Check. Where's our other config here with the 2? There's the 6 threads. Let's open up the one that we had. Downloads. XMR-STAK. Config. 2 threads. Platform 2. Select platform to exist, not exist. What is this? Compiling code, initializing. What code is it compiling? This will be 0 unless you have a different platform. Bingo. Got it. Okay. So, interesting. So I think we fixed it. So for anybody looking for that, I mean, we're going to have to put a timestamp on this shit. Because that was a lot of drama to figure out. And if he says it in here, I am sorry, but I didn't see it. Vega 64 XMR Reddit. Nope, not that one. This one. So I did not see him posting that. We're gonna copy this again. We're gonna go back into config. We're gonna paste this here. We're gonna drop this to 4. We're gonna get rid of these 2 down here. We're gonna switch this to 4. We're gonna save. And I think I saw an error on this, so we're gonna get rid of this. Save. I'm gonna go to Nanopool real quick just to verify. Nanopool, Google, Monero. Under their help should have pool IDs here. US East and 144444. Okay. Since we're not using paste. And then all 4s. Save. So there's all the threads. We're at 2600. What's the power at? Is that 570, 530? So that's definitely lower. Oops. That's we were at 590 before. We're at 2600. That's 1400. So now, yeah, we have to disable HBCC. Is that a true statement? I didn't see that. So we're at 2600 hashes, 2700 hashes on 2 cards right now. Oh, that was interesting. I closed that and it kind of blinked out on me for a second. Let's go into here, global settings. So once that off, let's try it off. You need to disable it and re-enable it. Yeah, the power is still super high. It's probably so the undervolting piece is something that's going to need to be needed. Because we're still running like 1.15 volts or some crazy. Yeah, so HPC off is 23. We'll close that. So they're saying toggle it, huh? All right, so that's back on. We're gonna play with the voltages here in a second. Crossfire was disabled. Crossfire's off. HPC says it's on with 16 gigs allocated. We're still getting lower. I don't think it applied. It is buggy as hell. So we were getting about 350 to 400 mega hash more, or 400 hashes more. Maybe we don't need that much. Do 13 gig. This thing could be used as a hairdryer. It could be. It's putting out a lot of juice. Yeah, it still says it's on. We'll try one more time. We'll reboot if it doesn't. And then we'll check and see if we can play with the wattages some. I mean, that's still a lot better. We were only getting 1,200, or no, 2,200 with the one that's in the multi-miner. Yeah, we're gonna reboot. It didn't. I don't think it's holding that HBM setting. I'm gonna reset it. I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna apply, confirm. We're going to reset again and see if we can get it back up there. So I think it is that HBCC setting, as people have said in the chat, is inconsistent as hell. So you do have to give it a reboot. Hardware porn. we'll go back in there and look at that config. I'm going to get rid of these two things on the desktop. So I can see if I go to put this in the multi-miner, guys, I'm going to have to do the multi-miner kind of interestingly. To where I'm going to have multiple, I'm going to have this set up with multiple configurations preset for people. So I'm going to have Vega, 2-thread, 4-thread, 6-thread, RX 580s with this many. I mean, I just, like, it's going to have like its own 10-part menu with pre-configs. That way, and then it'll call the appropriate text file to get its reference from. And that's if I can pass the variables without having to recompile the XMR stack. If I have to do that, then I can just put all the configs inside the XMR stack. And we'll just fork this version. Alright, so I got GPU threads in there twice. I don't think that matters, because it's, it should ignore the second one. On the AMD, for whatever reason, that was the thing that we had to do. We had to do the platform index as 1. We're not using TLS right now. I don't think there's any other settings here. New job verbose, output, and that's if you want to monitor it from a web server built in. So save. Don't think that will matter. We're gonna and make sure HBCC is enabled again. Settings, HBCC. I was running it with 16. See if that holds. Son of Tech retweeting. I just got it on my watch. Like a boss. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can get it back up to 27 that it was, and then we're gonna play with the voltages. I'm just hitting H to see this. Now we're still 24. So we lost. We lost some hashes here. And I'm on a mission to try to find them, because we were at a little over 700. I wonder. Let's do this while that's running. Let's bring up hardware 64. Let's make sure it's running at the clock speeds we had originally set. Oh, that's got to be messing with shit. It's trying to mine and it's trying to run the sensor. It was 2378 is not much faster. 2799 was, I mean, our 2800 is 1400 hashes. We're still missing about 400 hashes somewhere. Trying to hustle for you, son of tech. I hear you, bro. I'll reciprocate whenever you do your live. If you do a live stream, bro, I'll forward it out. Just ping me. Let's see here, thermals. We are at. Oh, that's our problem. Good old Vega gave us the old treatment of resetting our settings. We're running at full clock. That's why the freaking power is so high. Alright, there's our indicator. So it's not the HBM. It changed our, it took our settings out. Yeah, this is the problem with the Vega. I think the Vega is a few releases from being stable with holding settings. Let's go into OverdriveNTool. Let's run this. And yes, it reset all of our settings. So even in this, it reset them all. So in P4, we gotta go 1150. 1202, 1212, 1222. I think we could bring this lower actually. Well, we're gonna test it, and then 1100. We're gonna save this as GPU. I'm just saving that down here for I can reload it if it resets on me again. Oh, let's apply that. And let's go to Vega 2. I will put the links to these in the description of the video. So if you guys are freaking out of like, what tool is he using? We will put this description, the link to the actual straight download. That way you don't have to go surfing the websites. We'll put it straight to this video. I will do it right after we're done with this video. I think BBT, Miss BBT over there is asleep in her chair. It's like, I am bored as sin. Whoa, 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 whoa. What is going on here? Man, this thing is not... Nope. 1150. I need you to be 1202. Save. Why? It is not... Is this thing running right now? Hold on. GPU... Nope. Hardware. 64. I should have left this open. I might have still left it open. Is it open? Nope. Let that run in the background. What I'm checking to see, is this thing sitting there idling at that speed? Core amps. Nope. It is not. It's idling at 800. I don't know why this is wanting to... 7. I tell you what, you don't like that number, I'm going to give you a weirder number. What the frick? Wow. Alright, so P5 is not wanting to play ball on the second GPU. And it didn't play ball here. That's Vega. Let's see if it skips right over it. We're going to leave that here. We're going to go back in and run. I'm going to pull this out for I don't have to keep going in there. It is not, something's, I think what's going on is that second GPU has a thread lock because it's not releasing. See that device 0 released its 2 thread, or activated its 2 threads. Device 1 first thread, device 2 second thread, not working. One more time, rebooting, and then we'll go back in there and make sure our settings are there. Again, this is not a lesson for everybody. Vega is just is finicky. I think the tool sets and the drivers right now are just, they're like right on that edge to where you can, it's on the like the fringe of new cool stuff, and it kind of works, and it's awesome when it works, but it's just, you know, if you're looking, if you know, if you can get it cheap and you don't have a lot on power, it seems to work when you really don't have to get in there and mess with it too much. Because we're getting some pretty inconsistency. And we are using the latest driver. The driver that I'm using for Windows is not just the old school blockchain driver. I'm using the November 2nd driver. So it's just not the older early October driver, because that thing is worthless. So I'm going to pull this overdrive tool out here. Move. It did hold the settings this round. Let's try to go 1150 here, 1202 here. You know what? You want to be 1220. Or you want to be, let's see, 1202. Save. I don't, it is not wanting to go there with those settings now. And no matter what, it's holding that now. I'm just seeing if it holds that. And what we're going to do is make sure HBCC's on. Global settings, it is 16 gigs. We got all 4 threads. So we're back up to, we got our hashes back. What's our power? Power is 470. So it is definitely taking that voltage change. 480, 4800, or no, 480 watts. That is 4, right? It is 4. 460. So that's 1400. That's 1400 a card. No, it's less than that. 1350 a card. Yeah, so it's better. It's still 200 watts a card. I wonder when that's dropping that if it's taking the settings back out of overdrive. Nope, it isn't. We're gonna play around here. We're gonna take this to take this to 10, 5. It just does not like to change some of these settings. Yeah, I don't think, I think we're going to have to do the reg edit at some point here. Because it is, the reg edit will just fix the amounts. $10.50. I'm just seeing if the overdrive tool is actually changing the voltages. One card is not liking it. One card's okay with it. So we can see here. Yeah, one card I think reverted. You can see right here that second thread here is just not happening on one of the cards. Yeah, so I think it is going to be some of that reg editing. I mean, it gives me something to work on. Now that we've kind of went down this road and figure out and see if we can get a finalized video where I have it working and show you where I got to. This has been me kind of stumbling through it with you guys. I do value that help on when it says I don't really do too much with this, but I mean, getting it to work is always fun. I like trying to get things to work that I haven't tried before, and I like doing it in front of you guys just because I like you know, it's fun to discover. So tracing that issue down to get the config file, hopefully that helps somebody that's going down this path, you know, doing that platform indexing that was having that issue. That'll be definitely a timestamp thing that we need to put into this video for people that are trying to work through this problem, because I don't see that anywhere addressed in that thread. But I mean, 27, we didn't get it too well, so I think the next level is going through those reg edits. Before we shut this down, how bad do we dork this up? Let me look here. Let's see, where are we at time-wise? Hour 40. So before I shut this down, do you guys want to see? Let's see here. Set all. You guys want to see this thing doing any other coins? Are you guys not care? Yeah, I saw the post about not applying the reg edits for the undervolting. I will do that on a proper mining rig. I'm not going to apply those reg edits on this this gaming rig. But this was an adventure to try to find out if we could actually get this thing to get close to it with the higher power. I mean, so what I need to do is pull these Vegas, but what I'll do, I'm going to put a call out to the rest of the team to pull their Vegas that they have, and then we'll put all of them in one rig and see if we can get, if I want to go down this road, then we'll just do it right and do it with like a 6 or an 8 card rig to see if we can do it that way. Then that will be a proper rig with the right settings set up on it. What did we set this? That. Little pearl. ETN possible. Lost the chat feed. Oh, I'm seeing an error on here on the screen. I got a multi-miner error. Minerpool.net's got an error. That might be, that was not having an error before, unless they changed. Maybe Pearl's down right now. So, Electronium. I don't think both these Vegas are acting the same. People said you can't go more than 4. Well, if that's probably for XMR. P4, 5, 6, and 7, you can't go without changing the... Yeah, I haven't seen any 12 card Vega rigs or anything. Not that we've really looked, but I mean, I have access to where we could have, let me think here, 2, 4, 7. Technically, I have access to where we can get 7 of them right now. Like, I can get them within like a day, 2 days. And then I have the Vega 56 here. So that would be a total of 8 cards. So obviously you should be able to get this up with the others. I mean, that's 2300 hash on Electronium. But I mean, technically if we're doing it right, then what's the power on that? Oh, I clicked off my I need to spend some time and figure out that Stream Deck to where if I click off of it, it remains focus. Yeah, power's high. The 1070 Ti video will be tomorrow, and we will take it through its paces. I've heard a manage of 4 with thread manipulation. Try some nice hash real quick. It goes undervolt very, very, very well. Yeah, with a lot of custom configuration. So the problem is I'm gonna put the Vega in the class of card for, like, if you're gonna buy it to mine and then you want to game in the day. Yeah, and you may have 2 builds, like on your I can see having a dual boot setup where you have a very small Windows drive, 120 gig Windows drive, that you have your nightly mining on, and then you have your daily gaming on your main drive. And you have all your reg hacks and all that kind of stuff set up on that drive, and then you just dual boot it when you want to mine with it. And then you just let it run. The only problem is these little, these tunnel coolers like that, man, those things are running hard and fast and for a long time. And I mean, my 290X rigs that used to have those tunnel coolers lasted a while, but I mean, I burned those fans up in about 2.5 years. So those are the #1 things that we were replacing on them, was those fans. So what I would say is I mean, a lot of other cryptocurrencies or a lot of other cards, you don't have that heavy heat coming off those cards. I mean, these Vegas are pulling you back into the days of 290Xs when it comes to heat. So you have to have that as a consideration if you're going to be building a 6 to 10 card rig with them. Even if you're having to split the threads up to where you have them you know, where you got them split up to where you can run 4 and 4 if you have to run them that way. What am I doing here? Let's see here. I need to go up to multi-miner and get my Bitcoin address. My mining Bitcoin address, which is not the same as my Bitcoin gold address, which is different. Huh, that version doesn't have my Bitcoin gold address in it. That's funny. So you guys can't mine Bitcoin gold for me. That's funny. I did not have the proper wallet set up for that when I sent out the 562 multi-miner. I've since changed that in 563, which I have not released yet. Yeah. That's all fine. It's got to do its test. So it's only doing Cryptonight algorithms on the Vegas. That's funny. Oh no, sorry, I had it on the processor. I was like, wait, what? All right, well, that's figuring that out. That might take, I think that takes like about 6 or 8 minutes. What do you guys got going on? Got 126 people left. Want to make some timestamps for this video. Again, this was a pivot video for anybody that came in late. Our original intention of this video was supposed to be a 1070 Ti. That video is going to be tomorrow. We're going to put it in that machine right there. That's got the i3. I got an i3 7350K in it. I think 8 gigs RAM in it. We're gonna take through spaces. We're gonna install it. It's an NVIDIA card, so we're not gonna have all this drama. And our goal on that is see how low can we get the power on that. Because that card I've seen just some basic benchmarks, and there's some folks out there, at least on just some other 1070 Ti's. They're a little expensive, but getting 4.3 kilowatt to soul ratios on those, I mean, that's pretty decent if you're trying to build a longer term Zcash related build, a Zcash or any of the entire, Zcash, Zcoin, Bitcoin Gold, any of that kind of thing. You're going for a long term rig if you're getting those kind of ratios on your hashes to power. That's a long term kind of card. We're going to see how well we can take that 1070 Ti. It's the ZOTAC Amped Extreme. It should be awesome. I mean, the others Amped Extremes that we've had have been just the top card. The 1070 Ti version that we got, I think that thing's popping off now, and we'll probably pull that one over for a test towards the end tomorrow. But we got the 1070 Ti Amped Extreme Edition here, and I'm getting like a little over 800 souls per second on that card. I think it's like 802, which is crazy. I mean, that card is just insane. And then we'll test it across all the algorithms. So we'll be using multi-miner probably 6.3 because I have a few changes already in it. And I'll take you guys through that. So how about that weekend of trading? That was interesting. We made a few posts about it. Reading some of your guys' comments. I am excited about doing the video on the troubleshooting and storyboarding. It kind of comes more into my background and ability to communicate with you guys in a much more probably effective manner, is to get that information out and on a board, and it gives us a nice work, a backlog to work from. And the basic concept of what I want to do with you guys on one of these episodes is and it's going to be a few sessions, because I think the first video is going to get people an understanding of what that kind of video is going to entail, and then I think other people want to come and be part of it on the second and third, maybe fourth video. But my basic concept on this is to use my background and experience of leading large development teams, and for that matter large companies, through a storyboard session. And what that means is you take a basic set of anything, it doesn't matter. In this particular case, we're going to talk mining rigs, and we're going to talk the problems with mining rigs, the things that we run into, the things that we go through, or that I go through, or the team goes through, and just fixes things that are kind of second nature to us because we're always touching rigs. But walk you all through that, but also it's a reciprocation. So as we're going through this storyboarding, and that episode that we'll work with, and it'll be like a live like scrum session, we will get things up on the board. We're going to talk through different issues and how to fix them, and I'm going to try to storyboard it to make sure that we're in a structure. So it's like, installing and configuring a rig from a mechanical standpoint, plugging things in, configuration settings, what makes sense in particular situations. We'll lay all that out on the board. And then that collection of things that we're writing up there, indirectly, it's kind of like, I call it the Mr. Miyagi way of teaching things. Wax on and wax off. If anybody ever see that, spoiler alert. But you don't realize you're learning the basics of troubleshooting of it, and that you're also gaining knowledge along the way. But it's also a recorded session, so we're capturing everything. And then we can take that information that's on there, and then we can roll that right to the website under the resource thing. So it's a collaborative session that we're not going to put behind like a paywall or anything, that it'll be out there for folks. So it'll be a contribution to the community to make sure people understand, because when this train comes rolling with cryptocurrencies in general, when the big huge marketing and everything gets behind it, you're going to have a cross hedge into this kind of world where there's going to be companies, there's going to be people, there's going to be a lot more folks getting into the mining scene, which is going to drive interest. This isn't going to just fall behind where there's a conglomerate miners running ASICs. We know this. So I think that making sure we're working through a collaborative session to have the most, like, a knowledge base of information on that is ensuring that that kind of information doesn't get wrapped around a paywall. And I know it's a huge, it's like a big community contribution to facilitate that, but that's all I'm going to be really doing. I'm going to facilitate it. Well, I'm going to give my knowledge as I'm going through it, but to make it worthwhile and make it to have different perspectives on what people have had work for them, it's a collaboration. So it's like kind of like a virtual GitHub of knowledge when it comes to this genre. Just because nobody owns this information. We don't own it. We're just around it, and we do a lot of it. But part of the rationale when we made this channel in 2013 is because there wasn't a lot of there was a lot of information on forums, but I don't believe everything I read. I hope you don't either. And that's why doing the testing on this and doing it in front of you guys, and you guys testing it and showing your results, that's huge. That helps us collaborate and get better. Versus, one or two people having this awesome setting or this configuration that's just, well better than anybody else. It's not helping to fix, or because what they probably had to do is do a lot of hacking, kind of what's going on right now with having to go in there and do a lot of reg edits and stuff to make this Vega work right. I'd rather it be more exposed to the community of developers that are contributing code to AMD and trying to make things better, to say, hey, here's what we're doing with your card, bro. Why don't you give us a tool that does this and we're not in there dorking up registries? So I think that that'll hopefully help facilitate. So, I mean, you guys can give me your opinion. I mean, there's 120 people watching. Probably some of you guys are watching in the background, but let me know if you think that that's a good idea. I wasn't paying attention to comments, but if that'll help, because I mean, there's some smart dudes in this and girls that are probably in the. We have, at least from the demographics, this is we have about 3% females that watch. But let me fix the YouTube connection here. I think it's Miss BBT. Yeah, there's probably wow, man, this thing takes a sweet time getting through Nice Hash, huh? Yeah, I'm just checking your guys' comments while we wait for Nice Hash to do its thing. You see in the upper right-hand corner on your screen. I was a student, then became the teacher, aren't we all? Hey man, it's just all about knowledge sharing. This is a community. That's why we encourage you guys to go out to our Discord. You go to bitsbetrippin.com, go into Discord, be part of that. What's your highest score on the Threadripper? That's a good question. I don't remember. It's high. It's 24. We got like a crazy overclock on that thing stable right now. It might be worth bringing it over on another video and playing it, but I want to say it's up there. It's like 24, 26, 65 or something. We're holding right now at like 4.165, almost 4.2. And it's, I would say, 95% stable. There's a few times I've had it crash on me. But it's stable enough to where I'm not changing it. Anybody that's following us on Twitter, I've been going back and forth with Barnacles. We're trying to figure a date out on collabing and doing a video. More than likely, I'm going to fly out there first. I'll fly out to, I think he's in Portland. I'll fly out there and we'll build a rig out there and make a cool video, do a live stream. Who all saw Linus make a video on mining? We got the 1950X Threadripper ZOTAC. Man, this thing is taking its sweet time. Oh, I didn't do a quick test. I did a standard test. Stop. Benchmark. Quick. What the hell is that noise? I'm getting a squeak on this thing. Is that Coil Wine? What am I running at? 300? I think we're getting Coil Wine on the power supply. That is funny. It sounds like a... I can't tell if it's coming from the power. That's not coming from the GPU. I don't think. It's an alien coming. It sounds like a modem connection. Oh, it stopped! It stopped! That's hilarious. That's an older power supply. That's probably the oldest power supply in our area. Is like out of all the boxes and stuff we got down here, because this is our studio area, and then I got just 2 rows of computers. Anybody that's watched our Twitter and stuff, you see the other computers. I mean, it's a disaster right now. We had part of the team over, and I do a lot of development and stuff. I mean, we got bottles and it's a disaster. It looks horrible down here, but actually, while we're waiting for this thing to do it, I'll pivot the camera around if you guys want to see the rest of the area, the kind of work area. This is kind of like a half-finished area in the house where the BBT team comes over and we do a lot of development and gaming and stuff down here. But I'll pivot the main camera around while we're waiting. You guys wanted to see kind of the setup. Basement tour. All right, so you'll have to. Let me see if I can get this around. Get enough wiring. Okay, so we'll pivot main system box that has I think it's a 6950K. That's our main render box, so that's where you're seeing that. Development box, 144 inch or 144 hertz gaming monitor, because of course you need that for development. Another gaming box. Oh, that's got the Vega 56 in it, and that's got an RX a pair of RX 580 golden samples. The Vega 64 was in that corner. Again, this is like a partially unfinished part of the place. The Creeper, if anybody follows us on Twitter, saw that the Notch, the original creator of Minecraft, commented on that Creeper. He saw it and was like, "That's freaking sweet." And then we pivot over here and back in the corner. So that's got like Scrum note and session meeting stuff whenever we're doing stuff down here, development. And back in the corners where the ZOTAC machine's at. And then that's the main, that's the Threadripper box. And that is the new 46 or 49-inch Samsung curved monitor. It is ridiculous. And that Miss BBT's a mess area box there. So, and then on the other side of that wall, there's 4 cubicle box spots over there on that side. So there's four machines on the other side of the half wall there. So that is the basement mining ops for development and mining stuff. So we got, what was that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So at any point in time we could have a LAN party of 12. Like, you know, if you need to like do some Destiny or something while you're waiting for your mining rigs to see if they're working or not. So and we haven't finished any of this stuff down here. We do that on purpose. There's so much traffic that comes in right here. This is kind of used as a workspace right now, and it's just when you're building things, we do a lot of building in the back, and we're bringing rigs in and stuff. It just made sense to keep this area unfinished for right now. So we're keeping it unfinished until the next place where we can have an actual facility that everything's in, and then that's where that'll go. Crypto Dungeon. And I think I positioned the camera around there. We do all kinds of different development. So I mean, there's, I'm trying to learn Solidity right now and just the contract language structure. But I'm into a lot of other AI, OpenAI, deep machine learning stuff. But we got several of the team members are doing Go and Rust and Angular 2, that kind of stuff. So I mean, that's kind of primary job stuff, and then this is, you know, making sure that we have a pretty decent mining setup, and obviously bringing the stuff to you guys, man. I like playing with the hardware. This thing is taking way too long. I don't know why this takes so goddamn long. Which cryptos are we not having here? The Cred, don't care. Cryptonite, Pascal, Skunk, equal hash, library failed. It failed on this. We want it to do that. So the green ones are done, so it should be just the one. just froze. I think that might wrap it up. And it just died. So nice ass. I mean, it's trying. Oh, you guys probably see an addition to the back here too. That skateboard right there is from Casey Neistat. I don't know if you guys know who that is. Look him up on YouTube. It's pretty big. I got that from Casey. So I'm hopefully I can get him into some crypto. He has a ton of viewers, and if I run out to New York, maybe I can somehow get him into at least talking about crypto. So that is a Casey board. It's just the board. I don't have trucks or anything on it, but that is from Casey. Liven up the studio a bit. All right, I'm gonna wrap this one up, guys. We'll have the GTX 1070 Ti ZOTAC amp tomorrow. USPS is the one that's delivering it. They have it. They received it at 2 o'clock today. They just did not get it out to us. We will get it tomorrow. I'm gonna try to have their stream a little earlier, maybe 8:30-ish. Maybe even earlier than that, if that makes sense, US time. I'll see if I can get it probably around 7 at the latest, but next time get his classes. Yeah, I don't know about that. But yeah, I'm really excited about that 1070 Ti. I think it's going to be good, and then we'll get that done. So stay tuned, follow, like, subscribe. Most of the stuff that's down in the description. That's a shameless plug for Amazon affiliate links. If you do any shopping, you should be using people's affiliate links. That helps everybody, not just ours. Share the wealth. Son of Tech, I think, has. If you don't have Amazon affiliates, you should. Help your fellow crypto video people. Go out there. If you guys are doing any shopping, just make a link to it. I do it. Like, I can't click on my own links. So I use random people that have it out there, that are YouTubers that I follow. I go and if I'm buying something, I click on their stuff. Because I'm buying it anyways, so it helps us. It helps everybody that's contributing that. It's a way for you, if you're buying something anyways, you're just doing them a solid. So spread the wealth. You don't have to focus on one person. Like I said, I use several people that I've clicked on. I think I've clicked on Burn Ones. I've clicked on a few other crypto mining people that are contributing into the space. So if I'm buying hardware, we buy hardware. And if you are a YouTuber and you've seen some like serious YouTube purchasing or GPU purchasing and stuff like that, that's probably some of our stuff that we bought from you. So take care of each other. Thank you guys for helping each other out. And it doesn't matter what it is. You can click on any link, and then anything you buy, I don't care if it's underwear, I don't care what it is. Those YouTubers get credit for some of that activity. So do them a solid. Help your fellow YouTubers out. There's a lot of demonetization going on in this platform, so it helps everybody out. Check our Discord, BeTrippin.com, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace!